This is a record-setting contract.
Okay, but A-Rod's right now, like before, was
Yes.
saying the highest contract. I think it's either A-Rod's or Pujols.
Yeah, this is a $325 million
I think
extension.
both of those were like 220 or something. So this is going way
And this
beyond.
is
And this is
13
like
years.
all of like Miami's money like together. Uh, yeah, it's pretty insane. I mean he had a good year and he's only 25, but $325 million. I mean, I think 2003 A-Rod probably deserves that more than Stanton right now. I don't know. That's
Did
a
you just
lot
say
of money.
A-Rod deserves the money more than Stanton?
Well, I think A-Rod when he was, had that 2003 season did. He was constantly hitting. He had from 1998 to 2003. A-Rod hit at least 40 home runs every year, which is insane. Stanton definitely has got some pop, but I don't think he's no prime age A-Rod.
Now, I think Stanton is a phenomenal player.
He's a great player. I mean, don't get me wrong. Stanton is phenomenal. Second in the voting. He was probably the best hitting. If you had to pick a hitter for the MVP, he would have won it. I think Kershaw's year was just unbelievable. But I just don't think he's worth $325 million in 13 years. So think about it, 13. He'll be 38. So that's his whole career as a Marlin. And I'm hearing there's no opt out and there's no trade clause, so he will be a Marlin for life.
The fact is,
go anywhere else, he'll be a Marlin for life. Whatever happens, the Marlins are gonna have to deal with it.
Now I have to ask you: is any player ever in baseball worth $300 million?
I don't think so.
I would say no player ever.
I think this is where the problem. I think baseball does need a salary cap. You could see big city teams, do have the advantage when it comes to spending on big players. Now, Miami is nothing like the Yankees or the Red Sox or the Cubs, but Miami's still a pretty big city. They still get a decent amount of money, more money than you would say the A's, probably more than the A's, more than the Rays, even more than the Indians. They still get a decent amount, even though their fans, it doesn't show in their attendance. They still get a good amount of money. And $325 million, I mean, it's just insane. I don't think anybody deserves that. I don't think any athlete, you could tell me I got to pay Manning for what he did, his record-setting year last year, for 10 years straight, and I would say $250 million, which is still a lot of money, but I don't think any athlete's worth $300 million.
For me, you can morph Aaron Rodgers, LeBron James, Giancarlo Stanton, and Sidney Crosby all together. I still wouldn't pay him $300 million. That's ridiculous.
It's insane.
The most ridiculous part about this, though, the Marlins total, and actually
you look at the Marlins payroll, out of Stanton, if they do this, I don't know who's making more. Maybe Casey McGee is second.
No, this is absolutely ridiculous. This stat's coming from my friend Devin. He runs his site called Cover Those Bases. The Marlins' total payroll in the past 4 years, so from 2010 to 2014, their entire payroll was $303 million. Stanton's contract alone right now is $325 over 13 years.
He's talented, but who could be $325 million talented?
No one. Absolutely no one.
It's just it's so hard. It's nothing against him. It's just a lot of money for one guy.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
And you can see it. It could fall. Go back on Miami terribly. We're seeing it. LA. I mean, Pujols is starting to come back, but we saw those first 2 years of Pujols when he had all that money. He signed that contract, and he just was not himself at all. He was not his MVP stuff that we saw with the Cardinals. Even Josh Hamilton. Josh Hamilton was on fire when he was on the Rangers. And as soon as he signed a huge contract with the Angels, he was falling apart. He's just terrible, striking out left and right. He's just not the same guy. I mean, guys change quickly, especially when they get a lot of money because they feel now they got the money that they need. All the money is guaranteed. they can just kick back and relax a little bit. They don't have to try as hard because they made it, essentially. They got all the money they could ever ask for, which, and MLB, I understand this is the only way to go through it, but I think they need to find a way to settle these contracts or get a salary cap or something, because it's almost hurting these teams more than it's helping them, as we've
First,
seen in the past.
last statement, I promise, and then we'll move on to the basketball. For a sport that's supposedly in decline, they're spending a hell of a lot of money on it.
Because there's no salary cap. If you saw the NFL without a salary cap, we'd be seeing guys. We'd probably be seeing Peyton making $300 million. To be honest, right now, if we saw the NBA, imagine the NBA without a salary cap. There would be total mayhem in the NBA with no salary cap. We see Chris Paul, LeBron, like Kevin Love and Kobe all on the Lakers or something crazy like that. Without a salary cap, we just see stars all in one area and nowhere else in the league. The league just empty. Salary caps do help, and baseball's just never had it. And people are going to say, "Oh, you can never put a salary cap on it because the game has been like that for so long without it." But baseball has to change one way or another. And we've seen it decline, as you said, and the salary cap could make it interesting. We could see more teams in. We could see better teams essentially. We could see more teams competing later in the year. Not seeing teams like the D-backs and the Rangers with 40 wins at the end of the year, 60 wins. It's just, salary cap could actually help the league more than hurt it.
Yeah, I really have no idea how to fix baseball. I guess that's why you two think I hate baseball. Eventually, we're going to have a lengthy discussion on how to fix baseball. But we don't have the answer for you right now. Now, speaking of salary caps, now, I don't know a whole lot about this story, so I'm not going to dive too deep into it. But Michelle Roberts, she's an executive of the NBA Players Association, basically came out and said the owners in the NBA mean nothing. And the players control the entire league. The players do everything, and their salary should not be limited. There should be no salary cap in the NBA, and they should be able to get paid whatever because the owners do not matter. Now, I thought this was absolutely ridiculous. Adam Silver ended up coming out and making a statement that the NBA is a collection of players, coaches, and owners, and everyone involved does their fair share. All that stuff you have to say. Snowball, does Michelle Roberts have a point? I know you just went off on baseball for not having a salary cap, so I'm assuming your answer is no.
No, I mean, I just say you need a salary cap in the league. I mean, you could get more money to the players. I understand what she means by that. Sorry about that. I think she's just saying, the owners should give more money to the players. And I think she's right. And it's starting to, that's why LeBron only signed a 2-year deal with the Cavs, because in 2 years they're expanding the salary cap, so they'll be able to make more money in 2 years. They definitely need one, but they could definitely give more to the players. I definitely get that. NBA season's long. It's hard. It's 82 games. It's a lot of games of basketball, believe me. And your playoffs are 2 months if you make it far enough. So with a lot of basketball, you're spending a lot of time. It's grueling. It's tough on your body. And the players, there are some stars in the NBA. I think they do deserve a little bit more money. I mean, they're making a lot, but they could get a few more extra bucks in their pocket.
Yeah. But she's absolutely out of her mind. I don't know what she's saying. Could you imagine the NBA without Mark Cuban?
Yep. No. Yeah.
The correct answer would be no. But the owners do so much for that league. I mean, you're going to have your Donald Sterlings, you're going to have your Danny Ferries. Well, he was a GM, but you get the idea. But for the most part, I mean, Dr. Buss was a huge part of the Lakers. If it wasn't for him, would we have had the Showtime Lakers?
Probably not.
So it's not just the players. And Michelle Roberts needs to get that through her head. I think I think she's a pretty smart lady, but she's being completely ignorant right now. And I think this new position is going to her head. Now, last part for basketball, we're trying not to overreact to this, but it is worth reporting. Derrick Rose is sitting out tonight to heal his left hamstring that he strained. Snowball, is this an omen for the Bulls at all?
Um, Say again. You kind of lagged a little bit.
Now, Derrick Rose has had his fair share of injuries.
Yes.
Is he just going completely downhill? Is he turning into Greg Oden?
No, I wouldn't go Greg Oden. Not yet. I mean, he's got to start learning how to. He's got to. I mean, he's definitely trying not to be as aggressive. He did say that, because that's what we saw, the old D Rose being aggressive, going to the paint and trying to shoot more. That's what he's trying to do now. I mean, yeah, it's gonna be a work in progress. I mean, he hasn't think about it. He's gonna be playing a full season. Hopefully, I get this year. If he plays only 50 or 60 games, but if he's healthy and he's lasts throughout the whole season and the playoffs, I expect the year after full 82, he could do it, unless something really bad happens. Because, it's tough. I mean, think about it. D Rose is really hasn't played competitive basketball in 2 years. I mean,
even more than that.
I mean, yeah, only 10 games. I mean, he did play in FIBA, and I did not see any issues in FIBA when he played in the World Cup. This is all just coming now because he's playing more frequently, I think. I mean, I think hopefully he gets things going and starts playing more consistently, because it hurts the Bulls too. I mean, think about it. Think about if you're Joakim Noah or if you're Powell. If you have D Rose, you can move in certain ways and get in certain spots and probably play better and be able to do more moves, because they're focusing on D Rose as well. Defenders are focusing on D Rose as well, not just you and Noah. But when he's not there, they're focusing more and they're more aggressive on you. Could double team you in the paint, whether it's Powell or Noah, and it's just harder, and it's just you got to play a different way. So it does hurt the Bulls. Hopefully D Rose does plays more often, and it will make the Bulls better if he does play more.
See, I have no problem with Derrick Rose. I understand injuries happen, and he's been a little unlucky. My problem with him is his attitude about it. I don't have the exact quote in front of me, but he did say something to the effect of, why do I have to play if I'm not 100%? And I know for a fact Joakim Noah definitely does not like that. I said this in our NBA preview. Joakim Noah is the heart and soul of that Bulls team. It's not Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose might be the best player, but Joakim Noah is the Bulls. And there's no way that he likes that. And I'm curious as to how this is affecting the Bulls locker room. Because Derrick Rose seems to not really care if he plays or not. I don't know if you're getting that vibe as well.
Yeah. I don't think he cares either.
I think he's already gotten paid. And, you know
what?
what?
He wants to win. He wants that ring because he knows that's what all people are going to talk about at the end of the day in his legacy. Powell has a ring, and Noah wants that too.
Adam Morrison has
Powell's
2 rings.
just trying to get another ring, make it 3. But Rose, this is a guy, youngest MVP in the NBA ever. Supposed to be this big time star. Does he want to be remembered as a guy who tore his ACL in both legs, or hurt both legs, and kind of just fell apart and never became the guy he once was? No, I don't think so.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's tough, yes, but I think D Rose. I think he does care. Actually, I'm going to change my answer. I think he does care. And I think he wants to win a ring for Chicago, and have a legacy in the NBA. Because if he does not win a ring and he just continually gets hurt, he'll turn into Greg Oden quicker than we'll know it.
Yeah, no, I should rephrase that. Actually, I'm not saying he's going full on, Jadeveon Clowney. I think he does care, but he doesn't care as much as he should. He feels as though if he's not 120%, he shouldn't even try to play. Whereas Kobe goes out there, tears his ACL, and still takes the free throws. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I would like to see some